did not copy the rest of the world, we did not copy the West, but we went back to our civilization, the roots of our civilization, to say that we are Vasudev Kutumbakam, that we are one earth, one family, one future. We may have different political ideologies, we may have political differences, we may have geographical differences, but we all come from one cosmos. And therefore, on account of this philosophy, this ideology, and this civilizational ethos, we could achieve consensus on all complex issues confronting the world. And ladies and gentlemen, as we aggressively push for growth, as we aggressively push for reforms, as we aggressively push for digitization, as we aggressively push for infrastructure creation, and as we could push for sustainable growth because of climate action and climate finance, India will be in the forefront. And therefore, we will have the responsibility of leading the world. It's important to realize that in the global GDP today, if you look at the global GDP, America's share of the global GDP has remained constant at about 25% in the last 2.5 decades. Europe's share, and it's important to understand this, Europe's share has come down from 30% to 15% and will come down even further. In the last 3 decades, due to China's acceleration of pace of growth, its share had grown from 3% to close to 18%. But China's growth has now slowed down and India's growth has accelerated, and therefore India's share will now grow from 3.5% to, in the coming till 2047, it will accelerate to close to 20% of the global GDP. And therefore, in the years to come, India will be providing 30% of the skilled manpower to the rest of the world by the time we get into our Amrit Kal period. Imagine all your electricians, your plumbers, your carpenters, your hospitality managers which were trained in Lucerne, in Switzerland, will be all trained in India, and they will be running all the top hotels of the world. So the Indians will be skilled for the rest of the world. And the challenges of India will be to do very, very smart urbanization to improve our learning and health outcomes, to ensure that our agriculture productivity rises so that we can continue to accelerate the pace of our growth. So as many people have commented, this is not merely India's decade, this is India's century. And it is incumbent upon each one of us to ensure that as disciplined Indians, we ensure that we accelerate the pace of our growth, we become responsible citizens, and we ensure that India continues to grow and accelerate its pace of growth in all these aspects of structural reforms, digitization, sustainable growth, and infrastructure creation.